So, I want to preface this by saying I'm not that kind of person who scares easily. I've done a lot of backcountry hikes, a lot of wild camping, even gone out camping in the winter. I've seen things. I've seen bears, heard coyotes, seen wolves, cougars. None of that ever got to me though. But this time, this trip, this was something else, something different. It was last summer. My friend Daniel and I planned a weekend hike in a lesser known section up in the mountains up by New York. We picked a trail that looked remote, with a decent elevation gain and a river we could camp near. We weren't looking for anything crazy, just some peace and quiet, away from the city noise, you know? We parked at a gravel pull-off Friday afternoon. There's no other cars there. That should have been the first sign, I guess. We hiked in for maybe 2-3 hours through the thick woods. Not a light getting through because the canopy was so thick. No cell service. But we found a spot just off the trail, a little downhill near a creek. No tents, just hammocks and tarps. The first night, it was kind of normal. Cool air, fire going, nothing strange. That is till about around 3 or 4 a.m. I woke up to what I thought was an animal noise. Something crunching in the leaves, maybe 30 feet away. But it didn't sound like it was on 4 legs. It was like 2 legs, it sounded like. Slow, deliberate steps. I froze in my sleeping bag. My first thought was, maybe it's a person, but that didn't make sense to me. We hadn't seen a soul on the trail. Who the hell hikes out here at night? I whispered Daniel's name, but he was still out cold. I stayed perfectly still, listening. The footsteps, they eventually stopped. I didn't hear them walk away. They just stopped. Gone. I must have fallen asleep again because the next thing I remember, it was the morning light waking me up. I told Daniel about it, and he laughed at me. Said it was probably just a deer or something walking around, scurrying, looking for food. So I just let it go. I thought maybe he was right. So we packed up and hiked on for another few miles deeper into the woods. And that's when things started to feel, well, a little strange, a little off, not quite right. We found a second trail off the main one. Not on our map either. It was narrow and overgrown, like it hadn't been used in years. But there were boot prints in the mud, fresh ones too, at least newer than ours. Daniel wanted to follow it, thinking it might lead to a waterfall or something cool like that. I hesitated, but I didn't want to seem paranoid, so we took it. It led us to thicker woods. No sounds, like the forest was just, well, went quiet. Even the bugs were gone. After about 20 minutes or so, I got this feeling like we were being watched. Not in the movie kind of way. I mean, I could feel someone's eyes on us. Then, a little bit later, I saw something just up ahead. A shape. It was standing just off the trail between the trees. Too far to see it clearly. It wasn't moving. I thought it was a tree trunk at first, but then I realized it was facing us. Just standing there, watching us. I stopped dead in my tracks. I said, "Do you see that?" Daniel squinted and he froze too. He didn't say anything. After a few seconds, I said, "Hello," but there was nothing. Then, without a sound, it stepped backwards into the trees. "What the hell was that?" Daniel said. We stood there for maybe 5 seconds or so. Then we turned around and got the hell out of there. Fast. Back to the main path. But when we reached the main trail again, something was wrong. It wasn't the same. We passed a rock formation we'd never seen before. Trees looked different. I checked the compass on my watch and realized we were now heading west, opposite from where we should have been. We tried retracing our steps, but couldn't find the turnoff we came from. The trail just, well, kind of disappeared like it never existed. That's when I started to panic. Daniel kept saying, "We just need to keep going. Eventually we'll find the creek again." But we never did. Hours had passed, and then we started hearing it. Something pacing in the woods, matching our footsteps. Whenever we stopped, it stopped. At one point, we called out, "Hello! Is someone there?" And for a moment, it went silent. Then we heard what sounded like mocking laughter, low and scratchy, like something trying to imitate a laugh, but getting it wrong. That's when we ran. We ran so fast that branches tore our clothes up, scratched up our arms and our faces. We lost the trail completely, just barreling downhill. The sun was getting low. I looked back once, and only once, and I swear I saw something crawling between the trees. No, not walking, crawling, and fast. Like a human, but not. Arms were bent weird, face was pale. We didn't stop running until we hit the creek, just before sunset. We followed that creek downstream, hoping it would eventually lead back to the road. That's when we saw it. An old shack back in the woods. It was maybe 10 foot by 10 foot, had no windows, just a rusted door and pieces of barbed wire nailed into the trees around it. The place wasn't on any of our maps either. Daniel wanted to check it out. I begged him not to, but he was really heading over when I grabbed his arm and said, "Look." There were fresh boot prints in the mud around the shack, the same tread as the ones we saw earlier too. We kind of backed away slowly, and then we heard it again, that same messed up laugh. This time it was closer though, too damn close. We took off running again. This time we didn't look back either. At one point I fell. Daniel grabbed me so hard he nearly dislocated my shoulder, yanking me up. I don't remember much after that. We kept moving until we saw headlights in the distance. It was a ranger's truck. We stumbled out of the woods looking like we'd been mauled by animals or something. Cuts all over us. No food left. Filthy and dehydrated. They called us an ambulance. Later, one of the rangers told us there were no official trails in the area we'd gotten lost in. Said it had been closed off years ago after a string of disappearances. That part was never in any brochure that I seen. They told us we were lucky that we made it out. That back in the day, most people who went off that trail, well, they never made it back. I haven't been hiking since. Daniel doesn't talk about it. We don't even hang out anymore, really. Sometimes I think about that thing in the woods. What was it? How long it was following us? And why it let us go. Thanks for watching. We truly appreciate it. And if you have a story you want to share, email it to us at mindcodean@gmail.com. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. It really helps our channel grow. And it's completely free.